is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another week with you here.
Great seeing you again.
How long has it been?
It's been a while.
I've been doing the news now for 128 years. Or is that just the news cycle we're in?
Yeah, you're aging very gracefully.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
You came and saw us in Chicago when you see live, so we thought, hey, we've got to come see you
Finally.
in New York.
Yes.
I thought it would be a lot more hectic in here. Is it just the calm before the storm?
This is the studio, and honestly, they're probably wondering what is going on because they never see me actually on the news desk until about 6:28, which leads to panic attacks up in the control room.
Right.
And you know, it's what in this news cycle, which I just joked about. It's a very heavy news cycle. There is news breaking every single day, and developments right up until the moment the news comes on at night. And the other thing that I really still love to do to this day, and we talked about it back when I first came to visit both of you, was the Made in America stories, the America Strong stories. So I'm in the edit room every night until about 6:22, 6:23, just putting my own touch on those pieces, and then we come running down the hallway to do the newscast.
We got to say congratulations, World News Tonight, #1. You're definitely connecting with viewers. I know it's a difficult
It was
question.
the visit to Windy City.
That must be it.
And trust me, we're watching you in Chicago.
yeah.
We got our eyes on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so congratulations so far. I know it's a difficult question to answer, but why do you think you connect so well with viewers?
Well, I mean, thank you for that. I think for one, it's an extremely dedicated team, and it always has been. From the time of Peter Jennings, I grew up watching Peter, and you know, the kid in the backyard. I would excuse myself from everybody else playing and go in and watch the evening news. Total nerd, proud of it.
Yeah, own it.
Not then, but now I do.
Yeah.
And I think that people, I think it's just it's a gut check, especially in this polarized moment in this country. I think that people at home connect with the people that they just sense are trying their best.
Right.
You know, we're not perfect every night. We try again the next night to get as close to whatever the answer might be. But as long as you respect the viewers and you recognize that we are in a divided country, it's a polarized time, that people's opinions, no matter where they fall on the spectrum, they all matter.
Right.
And if they sense that you're willing to listen to all of those opinions, and they know that you're the guy or you're the woman who sort of appreciates that, then they're going to connect with you. And I hope that that's what they're seeing in this newscast. And it's funny, you know, I often talked about Peter growing up and as a young journalist, that he used to have a conversation with America every night. And I think that I try to do the same thing, and I recognize that in this era, that conversation really is a two-way conversation, because we have social media now, and we have series like Made in America and America Strong, and people literally tweet me or send me an email or try to find a way to get to me to tell me, you know, where I need to go next, which town I need to go, who I need to go celebrate or high five. And I think that that's a great thing about doing the news in this moment of sort of like, you know, very defined opinions around the country. I don't mind it. I actually embrace it.
I was going to ask you that because the news now is a lot different, even in the last couple of years, and it's so divided. Do you feel like you have to work even extra hard to make sure you're balancing the good and the bad, just to keep the stress level of your viewers down and to give fair, even, balanced news?
Just to respect people's opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very basic thing, Val. I think, like, when you're sitting there, as long as you signal that all sides matter, and I hate to say both sides because it's not both sides, it's often nuanced. You know, we actually have a lot more in common than we as a society and as a country give ourselves credit for. And that's the other part. So in the beginning, I just try to make sure that my temperament is calm. I think this can be an unsteady time for people, and it can be stressful, and I know people are carrying it around with them no matter where they fall on the political spectrum. So when I sit here in the chair, I just have to sort of take note of that and be, I hope, a calming presence. You know, we're going to get through it. We'll tackle it again tomorrow night. And at the end of the newscast, you know, in that final moment where we just show that people do have a connection, people do care about the same things in this country, you know, more than they differ. And if we can find a way to connect, and I think that people have gravitated to that moment at the end of the newscast in ways that it's almost hard to put words to.
What do you prefer, the desk or the field?
Well, my jeans from the waist down should kind of give you an answer to that question.
That's definitely the field.
No, I definitely, you know, now that I just said, I have jeans on just about every night from.
Is that right?
I mean, yeah, that's why it's nice having a desk.
Yeah,
it's nice having a desk.
it is nice having a desk.
But you know, it's funny. When I got the job as anchor and I first came to visit you, that was like 4 years ago now, I told you then that one of the things I said to the bosses, and it was, obviously, this job was never promised to me. I did not know the day that they made that phone call that was what they were calling me about, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. And then Diane called me not long after, and I'll never forget that moment. But one of the things I said was that, I still want to be that reporter out in the field. That's what the ABC family, the people watching at home, have come to know me for, and hopefully appreciate. And if all of a sudden I just start sitting at this anchor desk, they're going to wonder what happened to this guy.
Yeah.
So it fuels me, it energizes me, and I definitely love being out in the field with people every day. And then I can come back and sit at this desk for a few more weeks before I head out again. So, yeah.
Americans helping Americans. Thanks for watching here on a Thursday. I'm David Muir. Have a good evening.
Who does David Muir watch?
Well, it's funny, people get asked that in this industry, and I always think it's funny when you hear someone say, well, I don't watch the competition, I'm concentrating on the news. I think that's so corny. Yeah. I mean, of course I would hope that you'd watch the competition. I have great respect for the people in our industry. And I start my morning watching not only GMA, but all the morning shows. And, I find myself watching more cable news than I'd like to admit at the end of the day, because these stories evolve right into the evening hours. And, I have profound respect for anyone who dives into this and tries their best. I think you hear a lot about, our industry being under attack. And I personally, I'm not terribly concerned by that, because I think that is more of a reflection of the political moment we're in. But what it does tell me is to keep going, stay at it, and continue to have the profound respect that I have for my peers, because everyone really is trying. They are trying out there, and we all know that. And the people at home who gravitate to your show and to our newscast, they know that. Yeah. They know that we're trying to do our best, and we'll give it a shot again the next night, if we don't get there. So,
David, thank you so much. Before we let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, what's your go-to hair product?
This guy, he's got the most hair envy ever.
Well, I work with a co-host that gets a lot of attention for hair. Nobody gets more attention than you.
I don't know.
So that's why I agreed to the interview. I was like, their hair will finally get a lot more attention. But then you get me with it's just, honestly, it's this yellow container. It's called Got to Be. And it's the cheapest gel you can find.
No way.
You put it in once a year.
It stays.
It just stays like that.
It's good
Maybe
genes.
once a day. Maybe once a day.
Genes.
Good to see you.
Great to see
All
you
the best to you.
Good to see you again.
Great to see you, brother.
What a great guy.
Yeah. Val, I had to order it online. I had to order it.
Yeah. All right, give it a try. Do you need me to hold the mirror up for you?
Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Is this the right height?
Yeah, that
a little
looks pretty
higher?
good. Let's see.
Maybe a little more.
A little more.
It's on your palms.
This stuff is so sticky.
A little more, because his looked a little wet. His looked more wet and slick. No. Down on the sides.
Need more? I need more?
Yeah, put some on the sides to slick the sides down. There you go. Now you're talking.
All right.
Oh, yeah. It smells good, that's for sure.
Working on my David Muir look. Here we go.
You need more.
More?
Yeah.
That's good.
You need more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to World News Tonight.